used bookstore in Elizabeth
Yes.
Slater. The guy did not like that book.
He didn't like the Giver?
Well, he didn't think it should belong in the children's section, you know.
Oh, I kind of agree with that.
And that's why I wrote my friends to say,
he didn't
what do
agree
you
with
think
that.
about this? Because I'm now looking at it from the perspective, not of a teacher. I always thought they were much more grown up. But then now as I look at my grandchildren, I keep thinking these are still little kids.
Yeah.
You have
You
to
know, so my
sit.
perspective
Yeah.
has changed so much depending on
Yeah.
what role I'm responding from.
Yeah,
Right.
he kind of took it out of the children, you know, I followed
Yeah.
him, kind of took it out of the children and then made a comment and handed it to me and looked like, I don't know why, you know.
Yeah.
I go,
Did
well,
any of you see the movie?
no.
Is it available on like Amazon Prime or
Yeah,
something
it's not
like
very
that?
expensive at all. It has Jeff Bridges in it, Meryl Streep,
Really?
Kate
Ooh.
Holmes.
Oh, that's what I'm going to find.
Yeah, it wasn't much. I almost ordered it. I was
Do you know what the
tempted.
year was? Do you know what the year was when it came out?
Hi, Karen.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Ring a bell, but I think that
What a
was-
beautiful day it is there.
No,
It
it's
is here too.
I see you're out and
We're
about.
almost, yeah, we're almost to Boone.
I guess
Oh, cool.
Karen's just.
I'm jealous. I love that area.
I had my chair. I don't have it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to be all the way down there behind the post.
Do you have a big group there?
We have 6 in person, including me.
Perfect.
Out here, you voice the charity like it does inside.
So hopefully you can hear everything, Karen. Karen is joining.
Yes,
Yeah.
that'd be good.
Because I really had last time it was also windy.
Yeah.
So it was really. Yeah.
You're welcome to sit here if you don't mind the hard, not very comfy seat. I don't mind sharing if you don't mind sharing. I have 1 shot.
I had 2.
So I'm almost there.
Says I'm good.
And Karen, who's just
Yes,
on
it's
in.
Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Hey, Mary.
Are you on the road?
Yeah.
You're
Almost to Boone.
in the car to Tennessee? You're in the
Mhm. Yep,
You're in the car?
I am. We're almost to Boone, North Carolina.
Really? Good job. And your husband's okay driving while you chat?
We'll see. Look how beautiful that looks.
It is.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Okay.
First of all, I want to say we just got these Hope for North Carolina calendars. They are to help with dealing with the stress of COVID. If you're having, struggles getting through, like the stresses of everyday life, even it has a bunch of numbers you can call for different mental health, physical health, whatever. And each month it has a simple recipe and it has activities, and they're really awesome. We just got them today. So if you want one, I will save one for you, Karen. But I've got plenty right now. So
Is it like a fundraiser, Michelle?
it is not. Our director ordered and got a ton of information. So I've got plenty to give out. We've got little card size to put in your wallet if you want to have like these numbers on hand. Books for children in Spanish and English. So lots of good stuff. So The Giver. This was written by Lois, Lowry, and I can give some information about her biography, but you really need to go online and read what she's written. It's like a book. She's an amazing wife. She is a military child, and she married someone from the military, so she's been all over. She said her children grew up in Maine. She was born in Hawaii. She's been married a couple times. There's just so much. I cut this down and it's still a page long. But The Giver is actually the first in a quartet. So I haven't read any of the other ones. I'm not sure how I feel about that because this one ended in such a way that I don't know. It's like each one is a different character, and I think the last one kind of ties them all together, it sounds like. So I don't know. I might go on. I haven't decided yet. So just to let you know, there's others in the series.
Does the library by any chance have them?
I believe Performance has some. I can get a copy of all the books that you use. If anybody else is interested in.
Well, my book, when I read it, at the end, she had a whole lot of stuff in it for everybody. There's really no answer.
I think I
The outside of the library.
listened to it. And somebody else. So I'm afraid of. I don't want to miss anybody. Okay.
No, it just ended. No,
Yeah,
mine,
I did the,
me
that I
too.
got
There
from
was
the
a
library.
lot at the back.
Yeah, and it
And
was
that
like,
is?
yes.
There was
wasn't
like
it
another
the
20% of.
10th anniversary or something.
wow.
That
Yeah.
they had put in notes,
Oh.
since the publication of the book.
And
So
she
yeah,
said,
that was pretty interesting.
Oh.
it was very interesting, I thought. I should have read it first.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, hello. Hello.
Hi, how are you, Jennifer?
Hi. Karen, I thought you were in your car even.
And Jennifer,
Hello.
good to hear you.
What did everybody think of The Giver?
Did not like it.
Yeah,
It made you think.
it
It
does.
did make you think, yes.
Mhm.
How you would live in that kind of society.
Sad. It's really sad.
It was so like the beginning is like, okay, nothing bad ever happens. Everything's wonderful. You don't even have any weather. It's so weird, to think about that, not to experience anything. And they even kind of, I don't say whitewash, but like there's nothing even in anybody's history or, their parents' history to have stories about anything, which I don't even understand how that would come about. But
Well, they did whitewash because everybody had the same skin color too.
well, that is true.
Except for the blue eyes, and they were exceptional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what they must have been indicative of something.
Well, it was, when the old man,
Yeah.
he was married. It was before all this took place.
Were they his
His daughter,
offspring?
yeah, his offspring, yeah,
So he was too, right? I didn't quite get that.
yeah, this is before all this
The
took
Giver.
place. Yeah,
The
yeah,
giver.
he had a daughter, and so this Alex came out. Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that they chose who was going to be released. And I
Right.
picked up on that, I knew that's what was happening. They were killing, basically. And I especially didn't like they were going to release that little baby because he wasn't very smart. I thought that was horrible.
Well, it
Besides
wasn't
the
so much, it
twins.
seemed like it wasn't so much that he wasn't smart. It was like, he wasn't sleeping through the night and he wasn't following the rules,
Yeah,
if you will.
yeah, like
So off with his head, kind of.
He didn't fit.
Didn't fit the mold.
Well, they said that he was behind in certain things, and that's why the man took him home to give it a try, but I didn't like that. But anyway.
One thing I liked about the book was that they watched the children, and while they were growing up to see what they would be interested in, and put them in that field. I like that.
I was a way to go, because it took me forever to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I was
Yeah.
in my 20s when I went back to school and decided to go this path. So it would have been nice if I could have. Yeah, I had no idea what I wanted to do. It took me, and I don't understand why it took me so long, because I remember when I was like in 3rd grade and my little sister had the golden books, I was putting spine labels and little due date slips in the back. So I don't know why it took so long, but it did. It took me forever.
Your parents probably had something else in mind for you. My father. and
Maybe so.
mother- so.
Don't want to make anybody seasick over here, but I don't want to miss anybody if anybody's coming in.
Well, the boy, Jonas, right?
Yes.
He didn't know what release meant.
Yeah.
He did not know what release meant. I had a hard time getting into it altogether. I had to look up, like, what does dystopic mean and all that kind of stuff. So I asked, and I said this in my review, I asked 3 of my grandchildren. in a text. One of them is in college. One of them graduated from Penn State, and one of them is in a gifted class. And two of them had read it. And Mason, the younger one, said, "I had fun with the beginning, but I really like the end." And then one that's in college said, "I loved it." So then I thought, well, I'm going to do it. So I did, and I think, or maybe Mason was right, because the first part was like, where are we? And the second part, you knew he was going to get out. He was determined he was going to get out of there.
I was sad the giver didn't go with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they said it in the Girls, they said it during the thing in the version we had, which a lot of stuff in it, was that society would change because they would all get, and they didn't have to deal with it. It would be hard because the Rosalie or whatever her name was who killed herself. They couldn't deal with it. They had a hard time if she did that.
Yeah. And Dennis get even more memories than she did when, because she had done it, I think she had died
Years
not
before
long, not long after she started receiving.
right, like a year.
Yeah.
Like a year, I think. or
Oh,
something.
so once he gave him,
I
he
don't know.
Yes.
yeah.
Can you all see me? Can you see me, Jennifer, here? Can you see me or hear me, Jennifer?
We don't see your video. We can hear you though.
Oh, I don't know why it's blank, but I just wanted to tell you, when I read this quite a few years ago, it's a real popular book discussion book. And when I read it, my husband read it and my eldest daughter read it, and we all saw the ending differently. I saw that he was finally finding a family for Christmas and all was going to be good. I think my husband saw that he died at the end. And then my daughter thought they caught him and he went back to where he was. So I just wondered about the ending for everybody. Did you see that? Did you all feel differently about the ending?
I thought that
Let's see if I-
I thought he got that with the baby. And she said later that a lot of people thought he died.
Yeah, I thought
I
so
did
too.
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, see, and I thought he found his happy family at the end.
It was interesting that everybody got that different ending out of it. That
And
is
she
cool.
said that that's why she won't say.
Right.
But she has Jonas, and Jonas is Hebrew for the whole dove or the Holy Spirit. And then the baby is named Gabriel, means angel.
I
Yeah, that is
know.
interesting.
So I think
I didn't draw that connection.
No, we might have.
Me neither. I didn't either.
I did.
so I think that they went on
So if
and
we,
became
if we read the rest of the books, we find out what happened to him, maybe.
She said no.
Yeah,
No?
she said no, she doesn't really tell. She sort of leaves it to the reader's
The
imagination.
reader, how you see life or how you perceive that, what's going to happen to him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they are.
They're
They
each
continue on.
different
I think
characters.
she said one of them was about the baby.
Right.
Which leads you to think, oh yeah, they made it through, obviously. But I don't know how it ended up ultimately.
No.
And I think one is about a character named Kira, which I think is the second book, but I can't remember. So I think they're all different.
Wow.
Might have to actually read them now. So one of the questions is, it says in The Giver, each family has two parents, a son and a daughter. The relationships are not biological, but they're developed through observation and a careful handling of personality, which I didn't really get as much as just applying and receiving, a child being, I guess, mature enough or ready for a child. In our own society, the makeup of family is under discussion. So how do you feel and are families the foundations of a society, or do you think they continually are being redefined?
There we go.
Tap up here and then the start video.
Start video. Okay. Okay.
then
I think that our experiences change our families. If you are in a military family, you're moving all the time. So they are definitely, changing.
That is a good point. Like your experience and your religion are what define you, and in turn defines your family as you have, children and.
But some things I think, have to be static. Because, if you look at prehistory, women were the family. The men propagated and they brought them things to eat. But women, supposedly that women do things like get together for book clubs and gossip and things like that. Because they need each other's input, because they're the ones that are, redeveloping society. So if you go way back there, there's still a great deal of families today. That's some other of this. So I think that they.
Jennifer Poplar.
Hi, Dwayne.
I want to
There's
see
a lot of golfers going on. There's a lot of golfers going by today. It's so nice out here.
Say happy birthday.
Yeah.
What do you think happened? What do you think about society?
Here's an interesting question. It says, in Jonas's community, every person and his or her experience are precisely the same.
Yes.
The climate is controlled, competition is eliminated in favor of a community in which everyone works for the common good. So what do you think the advantages of this sameness are for a community? And do you think it's worth the loss of diversity?
One quote that I remember from this book, now it's been like 10 years, when he's questioning Jonas about the weather everything being so uniform, he said, can't people make a choice? And somebody answers him, I guess it's Jonas, what if they make the wrong choice? So you're saying that people cannot even make their own choices in this society, that someone is choosing for you. I just remember that from it. I don't know if anybody else took that away in that society, that you're not even allowed to make your own choice because you might make the wrong choice.
I just don't think they left any opportunities for making choices
Maybe some
available.
tiny little choices, like what they were good at or what they like to do.
Yeah, what they're good at.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's saying, oh, this person's good at this. That's what they'll be.
They even had their meals delivered to them, so they didn't even have.
And the dirty dishes taken away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'd be good.
That's right.
Yeah. So they can eat and get lost in the
And
No, it just erases all the creativity.
Yeah.
Even
And it raises a lot of things. Mothers really didn't do anything.
And then remember, when the boys were old enough to have hormones, they gave
Oh, that's right.
pills.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
That's right.
Right.
Mhm.
Until, because later he stopped. When did he stop taking
After they started using the giver, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I guess. And it wasn't really that, at first I thought that the pill was for sexual desires. But it wasn't
Really,
really.
any
Without
feelings.
Yeah.
any
Feelings.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The giver showed what the releasing was. Remember, they had the spring.
Yes.
And that,
watched his father.
yeah, and so.
That's when he said he was not going to do.
Right, that's what evoked, anger and his feelings.
But then wasn't it like almost immediately when his father said he was going to do it and he was going to plan how to do it, but then his father said, we're going to have to release Gabriel tomorrow.
Yeah.
So then he just booked. He just left.
Yeah. He knew what
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
He did know.
It is. And then everybody was so cheerful when it happens. Like when they gave him a party and then they released him. And it's like terrible.
I know.
Yes.
Well, as I mentioned to a group I was meeting with on Monday, a lot of the things that we appreciate having gone through this COVID time of separation and, I guess sort of enforced conformity, a lot of the things that have come out of that we now appreciate are the things that were taken away to induce conformity in the giver. So interesting to me that was a real dichotomy to me. The things that you say, oh, nature and these colors and these memories and you know these thoughts that I've read or had a chance to explore, they're all the things that weren't part of that. And yeah, they were perfectly uniform and perfectly harmonious and unified. And we like to think now that we're in this state, wouldn't that be nice to be harmonious and unified? And, you know, so I thought it was a fascinating book, and I thought I was much more intrigued by it as an elderly woman than I was as a middle schooler.
Probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
For her, fine.
Yeah. They weren't even allowed to have pets.
Yes.
You know, nothing softness or attached to get attached to parents. You know, they weren't allowed to give, and that's what the title, you know, to give her. You know,
And they kind of looked down on the birth mothers.
Yeah, they were
you
considered
don't even
like,
know who they were.
No, but they said, well, you don't want to be that.
yeah.
Because that
Well, they were the
Right.
stupid people too. They were the people that didn't have, you know, intelligence, and they were the birth mothers.
But then
Who
how
would-
did
I mean,
Forgot that part.
Yeah.
the suicide thing happen? So
As a giver, you know,
that was all from
was
him?
yeah.
I kind of got the feeling
thought-
that somehow they even took away the ability to see color, because remember
Yes,
when
they did.
Jonas,
Yeah, they did.
yeah, Jonas was like, what was that? You know, that was weird thing happened. It turned out that he was seeing the color red,
Right.
and somebody said
Yeah.
it might not be that there was only.
He saw that that they had light eyes. He saw that someone
Yeah.
else had light eyes.
Yes.
He didn't say blue.
Yeah.
He said light.
Like,
Mm-hmm. Well, if you would like a little more, they made a movie of this book.
Really?
Have you seen that?
Yes.
Was it good?
I haven't seen it. No, my daughter was just telling me. She said it wasn't very good.
Wasn't good.
Like what?
It wasn't good.
It was not a good movie according
Oh,
to
the
her
movie
daughter.
wasn't any good. Oh,
Well, the movie was not good.
Yeah. I always
She
thought
liked the book though. She
like
read it.
a book and a movie club. You know what I mean? Where we talk about the book and then
Yeah.
so that might be something to do once
Yeah. To consider. Yeah.
Yes.
COVID, and we will again once we can get together, because they were always good programs. So that's something that we could maybe consider if we can find
you know,
some.
that people only had bicycles. You know, adults
That's
had
true.
bicycles, but then people controlling them had the planes and the automobiles and
Yeah.
stuff like
Who
that.
were they?
Yeah.
The planes that went overhead looking for
Right.
him.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
to have more, unless they were just programmed to do that.
They were controlling the society.
They were.
You know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when I first started out, I thought, oh, Star Trek. This is something like Star Trek. You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got into it. Oh dear, this is horrible.
So do you think the people that were in the planes, how did they get those positions?
That's what I mean. I don't know. Did they know more?
Yeah.
Or were they just programmed?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Okay.
did they just inherited the position?
Yeah.
or-
Maybe. Maybe they were good at like, you know, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's something, I don't know.
Maybe some of those. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Maybe some of those things are in the other books. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I was interested in the giver. You know, he was so real. The other people, to me, you know, were sort of like robots in the sense of, you know, all the same. Couldn't have any, didn't really. Yeah. It was just interesting.
You know, when the plane,
I didn't read that.
course, you know, well, they said, well, he's going to be released, you know, because I guess he didn't follow the exact instructions.
Or made a mistake or whatever.
Yes.
They're not allowed mistakes. So, if you're
Yeah.
Triechelon, whatever it was. So,
That
A
reminds-
lot of questions have to be answered.
Yeah, there are. I think you're right. The ending and
Mm-hmm.
that they lived
Yeah.
and things like that. Yeah. Be interesting.
And this is dumb because I think you already addressed it. What happened to the girl before Jonas? Did
Yes.
she escape or did she die?
injected
Is that
herself.
who you referred to as that she died?
yeah, she died.
But she was not the giver's daughter, or was
Yeah,
she?
she was.
Okay, so that's what I thought
Yeah,
was
she
the
was
I
a
didn't-
giver's daughter.
Get that.
Yeah,
But I
she
didn't-
couldn't
handle
was
the feeling.
Yeah, and the memory,
Okay.
Okay,
yeah.
but she was his daughter, so
Right.
they were only really 2 generations away from the free thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
That's what I
that's
got.
Yes.
that's again shocking. Then you want to
Yes,
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
scary. Yeah.
found us.
I didn't.
If
I
it
didn't-
just takes, like Ronald Reagan said, if it just takes 1 generation to,
Yeah.
that's
I didn't get
Interesting.
all that. I
Yeah.
guess I must have missed.
well, that's
that.
what I'm wondering.
Well,
if I
you
missed-
talked about generations before me.
But they had a high-tech society. Whoever was scientific. And so you wonder, beyond 2021 or whatever, when it becomes so
Yeah.
scientific and high-tech, what can happen,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would you think it's a cult?
I don't know. It sounded like it was just like there were different communities. I guess every community had its own way of doing things.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
escape
Mhm.
go out in the normal world. So
Yeah.
it wasn't affecting the whole world. It was
Yeah.
just this area. It seemed like.
Yes.
I remember being
Right.
impressed when I read The Handmaid's Tale, that was such a society that I assumed had been universal until they talked about the sightseers walking by. And so there was a whole, quote, normal world out there. It's just that particular, I don't know if you consider that a cult or not, except, I guess with cults, you're not free to leave very easily.
Yeah, right.
I didn't think about that being a cult type of
Yeah.
thing.
Well, maybe they had thought about the river. Maybe they
Oh,
were very well aware that on the other side of the river, it was different.
yeah.
They drowned because they didn't were taught how to swim. So,
Some of them
Living in
drowned.
Vatican.
They thought they'd
Mm-hmm.
find that one.
no, I think currents or whatever.
Right.
And they
Are there more books, Michelle?
there are
there more-
there are 3 more. There's a total
3 more.
And the next one,
With the messenger.
I think the next one is something blue.
Gathering blue.
Gathering.
Hmm.
So I think that's it. And then the messenger, and then sun.
Okay. I've
That's the one.
forgotten. Mhm.
Well,
And
initially I would have said I didn't care enough to pursue the story, but now I'm thinking
I know.
maybe I could do.
I know. I agree.
I hear you.
It is
Everybody sees endings so differently and questions.
Yes.
even.
true.
Yeah.
It is true.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is warm.
In there, yeah.
She wrote another book, Number the Stars.
Oh, that
about
was
the
good.
Holocaust.
Was that a
yeah, it
good
was a good
one?
one too. Yes.
Yeah, that was very good. Very good.
Mhm.
I need to read that one. It's the Pull of the Stars. What's it called?
Number the stars.
Number the
Yes.
Stars. Mhm.
Excellent.
Pull of the Stars is a newer one.
That's okay. That's why I had it mixed up with it.
Yeah.
It's not part of this
Okay.
quartet, but it's by the author.
Yeah.
It's more the
Ladies, I'm
Holocaust.
going to scoot. So
Okay.
enjoy the rest of the conversation.
Okay. Enjoy your trip.
Yeah, have a good
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Good luck, Karen.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Going back to the giver's daughter, probably wouldn't have been his biological daughter. The way they
This is our
gave
I
children.
think it was his biological, because he was married.
He was married.
He was married.
Yeah.
And he had
But they were all.
Mhm.
I mean, they're all married, but they
Yeah,
just.
but this was his biological. I mean,
I assumed it was
Yeah,
the way they
was.
talked
Yeah, I
about
did
it.
too.
Yeah.
But now that we're talking, I'm not sure.
with the others, it's fine,
He did have special privileges. That's true.
Well, he was, I think, from a society before they clamped down and became very scientific and stuff, so
That's
he
what-
kept his memories.
That's why I like this group, because they always look at it a different way than what you started to.
Mm-hmm.
too.
Yeah, true,
Yeah.
very true.
He was
Well,
a
was it-
librarian.
Yeah, I had kind of forgotten the fact that when, I don't remember her name, the girl that, he was training was supposed to be released, but didn't she inject herself?
Yeah, I
Yes,
believe so.
Yes.
Rosalie or something.
Yeah, I
Said
think
she
you're right.
didn't have
Rosie.
one. She was glad to be born.
I wouldn't blame her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pressure, if you're taking in everybody's memories and everything, good and bad, and that would be a huge burden.
Yeah.
And he said it was terribly painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the giver had to help him through some things, but giving him other memories.
Yes, and the giver felt very bad about,
Having
but
to
I
pass
really don't
those
want
on.
to share that. I've already been through the pain myself. I don't want him to have to.
So I'm thinking about the blue eyes. I mean, maybe that was his nephew or something.
Could be, yeah.
Could be, you know,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Had to still retain these memories.
because he said to him, but, you know, so-and-so, there's a young girl that has blue eyes. And he said, yes. And he said, well, you have blue eyes. And he said, yes. And I missed the parts about it was his daughter. I thought he said to someone very special to him.
Yes.
Mhm.
He did, and I think it came out later,
Yeah.
somewhere in the discussion that she was his daughter.
Right.
It is going together, because otherwise.
Remember when the boy had to remember the Civil War?
Yeah.
The pain of the
Oh, yeah.
gotten the horses
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything else. So really, you can't have joy unless you have
Well,
pain,
that's true.
you know. So there's people in the society that really didn't have joy. They had.
Yeah. I mean, what do you have to
It's
compare?
always the same.
Yeah. It's a good book. I dreaded starting to read it, but I'm glad that I did because I knew it was going to be kind of a bummer. And it was, but it was still a good book.
Mm-hmm.
For children, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't see it. I
I don't see the children.
think it's in YA in our collection. Hello.
Maybe for high school.
Yeah. Young adult.
High school.
Well, my grandson's not, well, he's a freshman now, but I mean, his birthday is November. So, you know, he's 15, but I mean, he was, I don't know, 15. But I know he read it before, you know, but he's
I
only
think middle school.
maybe, you know,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
And so what did you think?
Now, he said, I thought the first part was slow. Well, he didn't say it was hard to get through because it was slow. But he said, I really liked the ending. And then my other granddaughter said she loved the whole thing. And then my third granddaughter who graduated from college hadn't read it, but she thought she would.
Yeah.
Since we were discussing it, it was kind of neat for me to be able to message my grandchildren and see what they thought.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
That's a good
cool.
idea. I mean, my grandson, they're always not a reader, and he's not a discusser, so I don't know if that's a viable option or
I know.
not.
Well,
You know,
it'd be
think
worth
about
it. We're giving it out.
And
See
all
what
my
happens.
grandchildren do not.
Yeah.
I have two grandsons that they would say, what book?
Yeah, yeah. This one definitely would.
I'm passing along. Rita was going to join us, and she thought it was at 1 o'clock. So at 5:01, she said, "Yeah, we really have to get going." I said, "Rita, it's not till 2 o'clock." She said, "No, it's at 1 o'clock because I have to be somewhere at 3:30." I said, "I think it's at 2 o'clock." So she said she went to get the book at Recycle Reader, and what's his name? Jeffrey. I forget what Bud.
But
So Bud took her back to the children's section and handed it to her and said, "I don't agree with this being in the youth section."
right.
So I just thought that was an interesting perspective from
Did you say the same?
Yeah, I said the
Yeah.
same thing. He did the same thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
definitely a heavy book.
when I talked to my two language arts teacher friends, texted them, one said, well, that's why they've gone away from doing a one class, one book kind of curriculum, that they lay out a bunch of options for the kids to choose from. So they're really not all discussing the same book, which in a way I think is a shame. It's interesting, but maybe they do clusters of little book groups. So I thought that was interesting. And don't talk to me. One more thing. Kara.
Well, I asked my sister was a reading specialist. she's 70 now, and she's on the school board, but, you know, and I said, this book, and the kids are on, blah, blah, blah. And she said, oh, the girls read it, her daughters. Well, I know they didn't, because they didn't go until 1993. If they read it, they didn't read it as young adults.
Right.
You know?
Right, there you go.
So,
We in the library system, we always had it classified as children's. In the children's section, not even YA, it was always children. Mhm.
That's interesting.
I think it would be pretty scary for a child to read.
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was reading it mostly during the day, so that it didn't wake it.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I think that they could read it as a story, but whether there would be the comprehension of what
Right.
was really going on
That's
and
true.
how it's totally different from the society that we live in. I don't know that, I'm not sure how that would.
Yeah, how much they, like you say, comprehend and be able to relate
I
to.
think the release word would really baffle,
Yeah,
you know.
they might just say, oh, they're having a party and they're leaving. And,
I thought about
Yes.
those people until I got to the very end.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I thought, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Concrete about it, even when she injected herself, they just said,
Yeah.
I always wonder where these authors get these ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, just the spark of an idea and to
she
write.
said where she got the ideas, because she was an army brat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then every place she lived, like for 3 years in a row, she was in a different continent, in a different school, and it was like being in a different society.
Mm.
And she was the middle child, so she was different than the younger and the older. And what she was saying was that in some ways it was her experience.
And she didn't have a very good experience.
That she had a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
She had the different experience because her brother and sister were different than her. The brother was in the military, and that isn't what she would have wanted. The sister was whatever. I don't know. But she did explain it. She explained that had something to do with, especially with these kinds of books. Because
Oh, she refuses to sign her books?
Why she wrote this kind of book.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I wrote this kind of book.
Let me bring you closer.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear.
That's okay.
I'm glad I read it. I'm glad
Yeah.
I had experience.
Was this wasn't a banned book? It wasn't on that latest list where they listed all the banned books, and you went back and read how many of the banned books you've read?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't remember if this was one of them.
I don't think it was. I think at one point it may have been. And I'm
it
sure there are some
probably was
places where it
places.
is.
Yes, yes.
And see, there's another reason then not to proclaim a one class, one book thing, because somebody can almost raise an objection to any book.
Yeah, that's true.
And, you know, and I'm not really on the side of saying, one of my friends posted, well, I'm opposed to banning books ever, any book ever. And, but I'm not sure I'm of that persuasion. I think maybe there are some books that should be banned.
Or it shouldn't be allowed.
Restricted.
Yeah, restricted.
So, but that's interesting. So if you have a bestseller that teaches you how to build this or that harmful thing, maybe that should be a banned book. So I don't know.
Like an automatic rifle or something. They say that they're banned.
Or bombs.
Or bombs. Right. Right.
So it's just, to me, it just brings up lots of broad questions about ethics, morality, and society.
Well, then you need your parents to, you know, sit with the child, they know the child, you know, and things like that. That's where the parents come in.
But sometimes that's dangerous. Like, you know, my parents were very biased, bigoted. You know, my husband's parents. And I'm glad that we've gotten past that. And I'm hoping my grandchildren, you know, are 2 generations past, 3 generations past that.
Well, teachers have influence too.
Yes.
You know, observation and things like that. So,
But teachers are always being cautioned, don't influence on certain things you're not supposed to influence.
no, there's
So,
teachers.
you know, so everything is,
Yeah,
the older I get, the more complicated it gets.
That's true.
Was this a Newbery winner?
It was.
Yeah, I thought it was, yes.
Yeah, but it was our category. It was a Newbery Prize winner. It was a prize.
I thought it was. Mhm.
And
And
also,
she, even in the book that we read, she included her speech to the Newbery Awards as to why she wrote this.
Oh, that's interesting.
Saw life, I guess, in which makes sense to me, is different cultures. She saw each of the places she lived as like a different culture and a different piece.
Yeah, school library journal best book of the year, so that's certainly
Mhm.
younger audience.
that's true.
Yeah. And if it's a Newbery winner, then definitely.
United States
Newbery,
Newbery
yeah.
winner.
Mhm.
Yeah, like Chris Van Osberg's,
Yes.
Polar Express. Well, that's a children's book. And look the difference.
Yeah.
Right.
It's true.
Mhm.
What's the criteria here?
Right. So our book for next month is The Book of Lost Names by Kristen Harnell. This is one that I recommended, so I hope that. Hi, how are you doing?
It only comes in hardback.
It is a newer book. I think
Because I've ordered it, it only comes in hardback.
yeah, I think
And
it's a
I
newer book.
have a copy of it. I've given it to Elaine first, and I promised to read it.
Yep.
But I have a copy
Yeah.
also.
And the library
If
has
she
both.
recommended it, I could certainly stand to buy it. And if
Oh, yeah,
I don't
I
like
bought
it,
it.
go back
I
to the
hope-
library.
Yeah,
I hope you don't come back next month and say
Yeah.
you're not ready.
No, I think I've read it. I think you'll enjoy it.
I
You
thought it
will
was-
enjoy.
I thought I saw.
Might be.
It may be on
Yeah.
Kindle, yes. I think it is on Kindle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it hasn't come out in
Ready to go look
paperback.
for it. Because I'm waiting for it, and I'm like number 14 out of
Yeah, exactly.
44 or something, so I'm probably gonna have to like bite the bullet.
So
and
come
get it.
right.
Well, yeah, that's like, I finally got a notice yesterday, I think, for anxious people, and I've been on the list since October. So,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think a lot of more people are using Overdrive because of the pandemic and
Right.
not being able to get to it.
Yep.
We are part of a group, not conglomeration, but consortium. So we share our books with other libraries throughout the state. So that's even more people trying to get our copies. So that adds to the list.